Afternoon, guys. Are you ready for part 2? I am, yay! Okay, so part 2. In the first part, just to do a quick review, we were talking about twin flames and building our partner. And you should have 3 sheets of paper. The first one was our little sketch and notes about the physical aspects of our twin flame. The second one was the mental and other building blocks of our twin flame. Ooh, it's windy today. And the third one were our emotional building blocks of the twin flame, right? So I hope that you have gone through and fleshed out a little more of your paperwork, as it were. And it is a process to think about what you want, what you need, and everything will change as you go through different phases of life. So be open to that and always kind of check back and check in with yourself and what your wants and needs are in a partner. Especially after the end of relationships, I find that I need to go back and reevaluate things, that there are certain things that I thought that I needed that I don't need, or certain things that I had no idea that I wanted or needed and really, really, really want. Okay, so have a notepad by you. You may want your other notes to sketch some thoughts or feelings. Our second part of building our partner is using our imagination, basically. You know, we're setting forth our intentions, but this is, again, expounding the way that we discover our wants and needs in a partner, okay? And I may use words that relate specifically to men because I am a female that loves men. I love women too, they're beautiful, I'm just not attracted to them that way. So just kind of ignore that if you're a gentleman, you know, listening right now. Apologies. Okay, so to get to it, we're going to go through 3 scenarios, okay? The first scenario is how we expect or want to meet our partner, okay? Don't jump ahead, okay? How we expect or want to meet our partner. Number 2 is a silly or awkward situation that we expect to be in with our partner that may change our wants and needs a little more than we expected. And number 3 is the part where those related to me need to stop listening. Need a little more intimate, okay? Bees. Okay, so for the first scenario, I want you to be in a place where you can relax. So we're outside and we're going to open our hearts to whatever is around us, and there's a gentle breeze blowing. We're going to let it comfort us and cool us down from the nice warm sun. And we're going to imagine where we want, need, or expect to meet our partner, okay? Why is this important? This is important because we all have expectations in a relationship. This is the fun half of getting what we want, okay? So for instance, do you expect to meet them just in a normal everyday scenario? Are you grocery shopping and you pull your cart around to the next aisle and, hey, there's Mr. or Mrs. Right looking at your favorite brand of potato chips. Awesome, you know. Or are they parked next to you when you're filling up with gas? Perhaps they hit your bumper on the interstate. Maybe you're taking a class and they unexpectedly walk in as a new student. Are they a new work associate? That could be a fun one. Are you shopping? Are you shopping with friends? Are you at a restaurant? Are you at a movie? You know, or maybe it's a date. Maybe, you know, you go on Tinder or Match.com or eHarmony, or your friends set you up with a blind date and, you know, you meet them. Is it something more boring than that? You find a new dentist and surprise, it's Mr. Right. What situation do you want to be in when you meet your partner? Okay, now that's the first step. Second step is what happens, okay? Do they approach you? Do you approach them? Do you simply say hello? Do you hit on them? Do you talk about the weather? What if they don't approach you? What happens if your expectations of the reality of the situation change? You know, what happens if you pass by carts in the grocery store, you get to the second aisle and you're like, they haven't said anything to me yet. what do I do? Well, grow a set of balls and say something. If you can't miss out on opportunities. That's why we're imagining this scenario, because if we imagine this scenario, we can imagine what our input can do to change it for the better. Okay. So if we're pumping gas at a gas station and Mr. Right pulls up with my favorite, Stingray Corvette, and I'm like, oh my God, I love your car. And he says, thank you, and fills up and leaves. What just happened? Did I miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime? I mean, forget Mr. Right. I could have gotten a ride in the car, So what are we doing here? So imagine your scenario. And again, this is supposed to be a fun one. Maybe you're getting coffee at Starbucks. Maybe you offer to buy them a cup of coffee. Talk, ask. Ask. You never know what will happen. The worst thing that could happen is no. And it's not going to ruin your day. Whatever. It's not going to end your life. Ask. So, be brave in this situation. Be brave in your scenario, okay? We all want someone to approach us. Even as gentlemen, I'm sure they would like women to approach them. So, be that woman. Be approachable and approach, All right, so that's a thought for your bubble, okay? Pause if you would like to continue envisioning that. We're going to move on to our second version, okay? Okay, so our second scenario is going to be something silly or awkward, where we may not expect to get caught in our natural self state. And I thought of this because, you might be in the restroom and your partner walks in on you and you're like, I'm trying to pee, leave me alone. Bathroom is my quiet space. So I'm trying to shower, get out. But for a new romantic partner, that's kind of a bigger deal, What if someone unexpectedly shows up on your doorstep? You've gone out on a few dates and they show up, knock, knock, knock. Hey, I thought I'd pop in. You sounded like you were kind of having a rough day. And it turns out I'm in my pajamas, eating Ben & Jerry's, having a sob fest over Twilight because I had a really crappy day. What then? What is the reaction of your perfect partner in that situation? Do they grab your spoon and say, all right, what are you watching? Do they say, okay, you know what? I see you're having a bad day. Why don't you call me tomorrow? I'll take you out to lunch. What else? Maybe your skirt gets stuck in your pantyhose. What would they do in that situation to make you feel better? Maybe you have toilet paper stuck to your shoe. Maybe you have something on your face. That could be embarrassing. Or something silly, I love to sing in the car. How would a prospective partner react to that? Would they join in? Would they laugh? Would they make fun of you? Would they not like the music that you're listening to? How would you want a prospective partner to interact in that situation? Okay, so you're welcome to use my examples, but come up with a few of your own, because this really tells us more about us, but also about our wants and needs. And we're going to pause if you would like to take a bubble and continue envisioning that. And we're going to move on to number 3. All right. I typically call this the first kiss, because, first kisses are important. There's a lot of everything going on in a first kiss. But more importantly, it's also about a first time together. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm going to let you envision that all on your own. But how is this important? This is important because it tells us in an intimate fashion how we expect a partner to relate to us, fulfill our needs, what we're willing to do to fulfill their needs, and kind of discusses in our brain the expectations that we have for a first kiss, for a first night together, even if it's not romantic, a first night together, What about the end of a first date? Are you going to kiss at the end of a first date? Are you going to go home at the end of a first date? No judgments, but what would you expect a partner to proposition you? Would you expect a partner to kiss you first? Sorry, my dog's over there, so I'm kind of watching her, yeah, dampening the moment. If you have kids, how are you going to deal with that? what are you gonna wear? I mean, you know, silly little things like this kind of help to consolidate our intentions as a rounded character of who and what we need in our lives right now. Again, that's right now. You know, 2 weeks from now, you might decide, no, I want them to do all the work. You know, I'm having trust issues, I'm having other issues, and I really need for someone to take the reins and come after me. And hey, awesome, good for you. But some of us may want to pursue. Pursuing is awesome, you know? Maybe we want to kiss first. Maybe we want to hold hands. Maybe we want to say the L word first, you know? There comes a point in time where you realize life's what you make of it. Go for it. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work out, and then, oh well, moving on, right? So when you imagine the situation, I want you to take time maybe before bed when you're getting ready to have sweet dreams and you're just relaxing there and you're thinking about, all right, do I want my first time to be here? Do I want my first kiss to be on my doorstep? Do I want my first kiss to be by my car? Am I going to make out in a car? How far am I willing to go in a car? You know, what do you want from a romantic encounter from your perfect partner? And now remember, your perfect partner is probably not going to be psychic, so you're going to have to give some hints and cues as you move along. And this is something that I want you to have fun with. Again, all 3 scenarios, I really want you to have fun and take a week. I might not even post part 3 until a week from now, because I really want you to have fun with part 1 and part 2, because these are the important parts. They're fun, they're silly, but this is what reality is more like. You know, you can't have Adonis and then not know what you're gonna do with him, right? You can't have Pamela Anderson or whoever and just put them up on a pedestal and look at them. You know, that's not fun. What are you gonna do once you have your perfect partner? How are you going to react? How do you want them to react? If they don't react the way that you expect them to, how are you gonna deal with that? So yes, so 3 scenarios: the meeting, the awkward or silly situation, and intimacy levels that you're willing to delve into. Okay, I'll leave that up to you. It might just be the first kiss, and that's awesome. You know, first kisses are great. It's like the best part, you know? The looking forward to the rest is awesome. But take your time. I want you to think about this, because this tells us more about our wants and needs. And once you go through your scenarios, you might say, you know what, I want him to pursue. And that would be an emotional thing. I want someone who will pursue me, someone to work for my affection. Or I want someone that's willing to give the first time together. You know, whether it's, I'll leave that at that. You want a giver instead of a taker. Or maybe you want to be the giver. Maybe you want to worship that person the first time together. Awesome, you know. But really think about your wants and needs, because once we get to part 3, that's where we're going to focus, okay? So all these things are really telling us about what we want and need, okay? So while they're cool, fun exercises, they're needed to get to part 3, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Love you guys. Talk to you later.